5 minutes late. 5 minutes late. It's all good. I had to eat, and that's pretty much my only excuse. I was trying to enjoy I enjoy my Friday when I do this, but trying to enjoy, Friday is the only time I get to watch, my shows, see you in live stream. So it's good stuff. It's all good stuff. Man, my connection is unstable already. This is garbage. Already 6 people. That is what is up, man. What's going on, Brady Kelly? Good to see you here. Just enjoying Friday. Cy, what's up? Here you go. Oh, what's going on, John? Why'd you change your name? Godly. What? Karate. Wow, I can't even. I'm in kindergarten. I need to go back to school. Kakaro. I don't know, man. What's going on, John? So, how you guys doing? What is going on? I didn't really know what the subject matter. I didn't know what I was going to do tonight. So I was like, you know what? AMA. Why not? See what happens. The last few live sessions that we've done, it's been pretty good. We've stayed on topic, but now there's not a topic. So anything's going to happen. Yo, what's up? KLO522. Let's see. I'm going to call you 522. Because unless you want to tell me your name. But what's going on, man? Man, girl, I'm not sure. Glad you're here. So yeah, like I'm saying, there was no specific, no topic. I mean, I was like, what is it going to be? The last 2 times I've done spirituality versus religion, and we stayed on topic pretty well. But I was like, man, what is the topic going to be about this week? Oh man, you know what? I should have made it. Out of body experiences, astral projection, the supernatural encounters. That's what I should have done. Dang. Whatever. I'm in bed browsing and chilling. All is very nice. Glad to hop on here. Well, sweet, man. And I'm glad you're here. Thanks for the thumbs up. Appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. Sorry for not being on your live stream. I haven't been feeling too well, but now I'm all good. It's all good, man. Glad you're feeling better. That's what matters. That's what counts. Man, look at that. Look at the whiteness on my forehead. Let me turn this light down. There we go. That works. You know what I should do? Let's plug this mic in. Hello, Dylan. What's up, man? Glad to see you. Glad you're on here. All right. So I hope you guys can still hear me. Check one. Yeah, okay. The mic's still working. So, studio is going well. Thanks for asking. Well, it's slow. I mean, have you checked out my website, the studio website? Heard my portfolio? If you haven't, you should check it out. nationshavenrs.com. Do you think there was a worldwide flood? To that question, I can give my uneducated opinion, which is that something happened. Something happened. But whether it was a flood or whether it was something else, I don't know. So, I know quite a few people who have out-of-body experiences, one including my sister, but never had one myself. I have not either, but I'm working on it, which that's a whole separate discussion. Yo, what's going on? Parrish. I feel like Parrish. I know Parrish. Is this who I think it is? Parrish? If not, it's all good. I'm well. I am well. I just ate sort of a pizza. It's like a gluten-free version of pizza, so it's technically not pizza. Um, and it's not settling too well. So give us a link, please. All right. Nationshavenrs.com. That's just type that in. Just type that in the URL and it'll come up. And that's my studio website that we just launched this week. So yeah, I like your reaction vids. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Is that how you just found this channel? Yes, from YouTube. Yes, it is from YouTube. Cuz good to be here. Well, great. I'm glad you're here. Yes, fire. Gracie. There was a guy floating on top of a building in my city and went viral on Twitter. Like actually floating, or was this some sort of um, what do like Photoshop weird kind of thing? So who else on here, out of curiosity, to ask you a question to get some conversation going, who else on here has experienced some sort of thing that they say, could this have been an out of body experience? Or maybe you know somebody who has had an out of body experience. What do you think about it? Are you skeptical? Do you believe that people can leave their bodies? Um, you know, what what are your thoughts? Because I have plenty. Just trying to get a conversation going. Nobody knows it was a video of him just chilling, sitting in the sky. Then I doubt it was real. Personally, I doubt it. But you know, there's always hope. I don't know. 8 people. Hey guys, thanks for the thumbs up. Really appreciate it. Helps this video get bumped on live stream stuff. Get bumped up, that is, and helps this channel out. So, John, what does your new name mean? I guess I'll just look it up. This is a Dragon Ball Z character? All right. Yep, I just looked it up. Dragon Ball Z. Never got into it. I didn't get into most of those things growing up because my mom thought it was all demonic and satanic. So, wasn't allowed to mess with any of those things. That book you read, Journeys Out of the Body, is that the guy who claimed to work for the military CIA or something like that and astral travel for the military? No, I don't believe so. I just read all three of the trilogy on out of body experiences, basically, and he never mentioned anything about government doing any work for government or anything like that. So unless he wrote another book, which it's possible that he could have, or unless he came out in public and said that, yeah, this wasn't the guy. I have heard of weird something happening like that. I'd be interested to research that more and find out who that was that you read that about. I do believe we leave our bodies regularly. Even when we think of some event, we leave it. Just most of us haven't worked on that muscle to dive into it for real. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's possible. I'm still pretty like I'm not fully on the side of like I totally believe it that it's absolutely possible because in reading these books by Robert Monroe, um yeah, I see like there's these holes that it doesn't make sense. I'm like, well, that could still be a dream. That could be a lucid dream. So, and people do crazy things in lucid dreams. So I'm like, that could still be a dream that you're just aware of. I don't know. Now, I've never had an out of body experience. For people, well, I've had something kind of like an out of body experience, but I wasn't sure. It was still like a dream. It was weird. But uh, yeah, from the people who have out of body experience, oh yes, you are out of body. It is completely different. It is completely, man, my connection is sucking tonight. Uh, it is completely different. You are out of body. You are, it's, yeah, it's a real deal. And that's only for the people who have actually experienced it to know that. So my question is like, is your experience clouded by the way that you want it to be, or is that actually the way it is? Now, Robert Monroe, he when he travels out of body, he didn't even make, this is why I appreciate his books, is because he never even wanted to, but he did. And so when he investigated it, then he found, okay, yes, this is real. People travel out of their bodies. I think out of body experiences are interesting, but should it be done? Would God approve? I don't see why God wouldn't approve. There's many verses in the New Testament, specifically John, where like even in the Last Supper, Jesus says, "It is my desire for them," like saying us, "to be with me in my glory where I am." There's even a parable that you can read the parable in several different ways, but he says, you can go in and out of pasture. And what does pasture mean? And Paul, you can point to Paul, whether I was in or out of body, I don't know. And so really that verse to me just says like, it's kind of inconclusive, but when I look at the things that Jesus said, and especially a number of things in the New Testament, but specifically talking about the verse in John where he says, "It is my desire for them to be with me in my glory." I look at that and I say, and just look at the overall arching theme of the New Testament, which is relationship, and which is, him wanting to be with us and be in relationship with us. Why wouldn't, like, it doesn't make sense to me why he would say, "I want relationship with you, but I don't want to have it face to face." Like, if it's possible to see and experience Jesus or God when out of body, I don't understand why God would be against that, especially if you're looking for answers and you're looking for him. Why would you wanting an out of body experience be something demonic? Or whether demonic or any of that exists, or if it's just all in our head, I don't know. But I'm constantly annoyed by this, honestly, within the church, that I've heard it growing up in the spirit-filled charismatic church. I've heard it time and time and time again, where it's like the new age people are, they're exercising spirituality and they're taking it for themselves and making it demonic, and the church needs to take it back. And I'm like, okay, well, there's lucid dreaming, there's astral projection, out of body experiences, there's meditation. As soon as you mention any of those things in church, they're like, nope, satanic, demonic, any of that. And I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. You claim that, this is for Christianity, but you don't want to be spiritual. You don't want to actually make it real. You just like the idea of it. And so that's super frustrating for me. And like I said, just the number of times that I've read the overarching theme of the New Testament. And there's a number of verses. I just point out the one in John 14 where Jesus was saying, "It's my desire for them to be with me in my glory." Because that's the first one that come to mind. And I haven't read the Bible in a year or two. Um, but yeah, I do think that, I do think that God would approve. I mean, I know people personally that have gone out of body and that they have claim to have seen Jesus. And, I mean, there's even stories in the New Testament. Like, let's say, for instance, the story where Jesus was healed, I think it was a blind man at this pool. And, people were gathering around it to get healed by this angel. Notice in that story, Jesus didn't say anything about the angel. He didn't say anything about people wanting to get healed. He didn't even address any of that. It's like he didn't have anything wrong with people wanting that, but he went there and he healed the guy. And so when I see the ways that even Jesus reacts to the people that practice the supernatural, I don't see him rebuking them. And so it's just very, very interesting to me. Just the whole topic when it comes to Christianity and how they feel about out of body experiences. I'm like, okay, this isn't adding up. This isn't making sense because what I'm seeing in the Bible and what I'm seeing from the things that Jesus said, and especially in regards to having a relationship with Him, like okay, even relationship. I know this is kind of a long rant, but just hang in there with me. Even relationship and talking about relationship, like I said before, it doesn't make any sense if Jesus wanted to have real, sincere, honest relationship with us, if he wouldn't open up a door for us to actually be with him and have relationship with him face to face. That doesn't make an ounce of sense to me. Um, Now maybe there's something that I'm not aware of or I don't know, but that's those are just some of my thoughts on that. I'll just stop it there. Those are just some of my thoughts on that. What is OBE? Out of body experience. Yes, cuz you got it. Um guess who's here? Eric, what up, man? Why in the Do you have resentment because of bad church experiences? No, I mean, I don't have resentment. I'm not a Christian or a believer anymore, and it's not out of resentment. It's not out of bitterness and unforgiveness. It's not out of anger. It's not out of, this just it was too hard. Not any of that. I simply came to the realization that I did not believe in God, and what I thought was belief was just a secondhand revelation that came from my parents, that came from what I'd been told my entire life. And I never actually got the opportunity to seek out truth for myself because I was just always told that this is truth. And so it's when I figured that out, okay, I actually don't believe in God, it was weird to me how much people automatically went to, it's because of bitterness, it's because of unforgiveness, it's because of, anger, or you have problems, or problems with the church, or whatever. It's like, actually, no. Like, yeah, yes, there is, and I addressed it early on that, like, yes, there was some bitterness, but it wasn't like towards the church. It wasn't towards uh it was towards specific individuals that really brought it up. But then I got over that. I forgave them. You know, all of that, put that aside. And it was just the realization that I'm like, what I see in the Bible is not going on in church, for one, but also what I see in the Bible and the way that the Bible defines what Christianity is, what faith is, what belief is also not in the church. So when I recognized that, I was like, and especially looking at belief, then I was like, I don't believe in God. So by definition, I guess I'm more atheistic, but by thought process and by journey and by everything else, I'm more agnostic. I don't know. I'm just a skeptic. So it's not out of, it doesn't have to be you being on a search for truth and on a search for God. It doesn't have to be out of a place of frustration and resentment and bitterness and unforgiveness and all these negative things. It doesn't have to be, and it's not always from that place. In some cases it absolutely is, but it's not always from that case. It's by people wanting to know the truth for themselves. And it's just weird to me that a lot of people, and I'm not claiming that you think this, but it's weird to me that a lot of people do think that, and they do think, It is because of resentment, or it is because of anger, or it's because I lost a community, or it's because whatever. Yeah, it doesn't have to be that way. It can be like, for me, it's just wanting to find truth for myself, wanting that firsthand experience, wanting that firsthand revelation of truth. And I am open to the fact that if that is not God, then that's the truth. I haven't found that yet, and I haven't found if the truth is God. So I'm there, but it's not. I'm not where I'm at because of resentment or unforgiveness or bitterness or whatever. I'm where I'm at simply because I came to the realization that I do not believe in God. Could that change? Yes, but right now, that's what it is. So interesting. Ran on. I'm sorry for your frustration, Nate. I agree with you. Wanted to just hear your thoughts. Yeah, man. Happy to share my thoughts. You can still have a relationship without being face to face. That's a difficult one for me. I'm like, yeah. Um that's just a difficult one for me to even comprehend. I mean, I don't even know if you can fully agree with that statement once you pick that apart. Because if if you've ever met somebody online and really got to know them, and then met them face to face, you would know. You're like, wow, I don't not know all of this person. Or, phone calls, just talking on the phone with someone. It's not face to face. It's not in person. It's completely different. I mean, you barely even know the person. Oh my God, there is an animal in here. Um, it's probably a stink bug. Fuck. Um, yeah. So anyway, I don't see that. I'm cooking while listening. Nice. I can remember the name, but there's a guy on YouTube. I can't remember the name, but there's a guy on YouTube as a testimonial about all the religions he studied, and he talked about all his experiences, and he brought up that book in the video. Huh. You said you're not a believer anymore, right? What do you believe currently? I don't know. I don't know what I believe. I mean, technically, I guess by definition of what I have come to realize belief is, I believe in the material world. I'm not a materialist. I'm actually more of an idealist. Um, and so I guess you can say I'm a compatibilist and a pluralist. Bunch of philosophical terms. If you don't get them, it's fine. But I don't necessarily. It's not that I want it that way. I'm just looking for what the actual truth is from a firsthand revelation and experience. So the more I learn and the more I examine the things that I've already experienced, I question: is there more? you know but as of what I actually believe right now, it's mostly just materialism with a bit of idealism in there. um where do you stand where do you stand now with religion? I mean, what do you oh my God, dude, I'm gonna freak out on this stink bug. Hold on, I'm gonna go throw this stink bug in the toilet. For real though, that's the only way to get rid of them. God. Stupid stink bug, man. It's ridiculous. All right. Where do you stand now with no religion? I mean, what do you believe in now? I mean, I basically just answered that question. So, um, if God doesn't exist, then what are your beliefs? I just think religion is fake. I mean, I don't I don't disagree with you. Religion is fake. Well, actually, okay. I think religion is very real. I just think it's really destructive and poisonous and detrimental and all of that other garbage. I think it's garbage. I think spirituality is more.
foolproof, more dependable, more, I don't know what the right word is. But like I said, I mean, you don't have to have belief doesn't have to only apply to something in the supernatural. I believe in myself, so I believe in things. I believe I've come to the belief, and actually, I didn't have this belief when this all hit me, but that the world around me is real. Um, so yeah, um, kind of lost my train of thought, but I'm going to move on. Is there any unanswered questions you want to ask a Christian? I'm here to help. This is a interesting. That's a very interesting. It's a very interesting thing to ask, to say, because I don't think you get where I'm at, and I think a lot of people hear that they just don't really get where I'm at. No answer or simple revelation formed linguistically will help me come to a point to believe in God. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think that's a wrong thing. Because if I just depend on the intelligent words of man, the intelligent words, saying if God does exist, if I just depend on the intelligent words of man, those words will fail. They will fall apart. There's always there is always some sort of philosophical circular reasoning or questioning, or answer in all of it. Like, no matter what side of a philosophical argument you're on, you're going to find a way to make it circular and for it to just go back and forth. And so, no revelation, no question that I have from a linguistic, wisdom oriented, well thought out and put together, revelation put into a mantra of some sort, is going to make me believe in God. This was the realization that I had that led me to, like, the truth that, wait, actually, I don't believe in God in my heart. It says, Romans 10:9, if you believe in your heart that Jesus is Lord, then I'm like, okay, what is belief? So when I realized that I don't believe, I realized, okay, I'm not actually a Christian. And what does it mean for Jesus to be Lord? Do I even believe that? Is he actually even Lord? And I just started realizing, like, none of these things are true for me. And so it was that word, like, I used to look at that word as that was foolproof. Like, it was like, I just say the magic words, Romans 10:9, and I'm into heaven, right? But that word, I'm just using that for an example, but this can be applied to even just revelations that we come up with on our own. It's not a foundation. It's not a good foundation by all means. Even, like, okay, Christians will say, the Bible is my foundation. Well, you're going to fall apart. Sorry, you're going to fall apart, because if what the Bible says is true, then you should not be worshiping Father, Son, Holy Bible. You should be worshiping Father, Son, Holy Spirit. So if your foundation is strictly only on the Word of God, you are making it law, and then that in that law you're making it religion. And so I don't want religion. I'm done with religion. I really am. I'm so done with it. And so no revelation or Bible verse or word is going to help me, make me, whatever believe in God. It's not like that. And it's a weird thing that people don't necessarily understand that. I'm like, no, I want a firsthand revelation or experience that comes from something that I can't explain, comes from the unknown. Well, not necessarily comes from something I can't explain, because there's a whole bunch of things in science that I can't explain. But I do think that a personal encounter with a living God, if he is real, is a necessity. Because if God is love, and if he does love me, I I don't think it's love hearing about it from other people. I think it's love having a face-to-face personal encounter with God. And so that's just where I stand. That's where I'm at. And yeah, so no revelation, no word of wisdom is going to get me to that point. It's just not going to happen. the only thing that's going to get me to that point is actually experiencing God. And I think that's spirituality. I think that has nothing to do with religion. So those are my thoughts on that. Did it get through the window or did it? No, I have a screen on. It just got through the window. That's all there is. We should be dancing. Okay. I believe in God. I just believe religion isn't the answer. If you do good, if you do what is right in your heart, then you'll be fine. Religion is more weaponized than anything. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I've been watching the channel for a bit now, but first time on live. Well, glad you're here, man. Really appreciate it. Questions are good. It's okay to question. There's no circles around the truth. It's either real or fake or a lie. No way around it. I mean, that's not true. So yeah. How does your father feel about your beliefs? I mean, he understands where I'm at. I don't think he likes where I'm at, but he gets where I'm at, and I can still talk to him. So yeah, I can still talk to him about it. Sloshy, did you hear my beat Run? Yo, are you in? Was my poem inspired by that? Okay, so there is an afterlife, or do you believe that once we hit whatever age we hit when we die, that's it? Everything is over. All our knowledge and beliefs, whatever it may be, that's it. I don't know. That's a great question, but I don't know. I haven't researched it a lot, but I keep hearing and keep looking at the first law of thermodynamics, which is energy doesn't die. Energy is just replaced or it just moves, right? So in that regard, if we look at consciousness, and if our consciousness is just made up of energy, if maybe that energy is our memories, is our personality, is who we become, the lessons we learn, is our, being, many people, heart, soul, spirit, whatever. If that's it, then yes, I do think that will live on when we die, just scientifically speaking. But do I know that for a fact? No, I don't. May you react to Eminem's "Walk on Water" with your father. I'd be honored. However, I have to warn you, a few swear words are in it. Dude, have you watched the other videos that me and my dad react to? Tons of swearing in it. Tons of swearing in it. It's great. Do you have Discord or something I could join? This is interesting. I just released a video today. Go watch it. It is called How Much Money Do I Actually Make on YouTube? And I show you all exactly how much money I actually make on YouTube. And at the end of it, I talk about my Patreon page. And one of the rewards on Patreon is an exclusive community on Discord. So you can be involved, and it's an open line of communication all the time. I don't put a time restriction or anything like that in it. But it is meant for this kind of thing to happen. But instead of me on video like in live, it's just on Discord, and so yeah. This is interesting. What can you say about the Bible? Is it real or fake? Elaborate your points. I don't know. I don't know, and I don't think I need to know. I don't think I have to know. I do think that there are things in the Bible, there are principles in the Bible that really, really, really help your life. So in that way, those things are true. And because it's true, I think that it would be on the points of reality. In in the light of, is it historically accurate? Is it how do you say, historically accurate, or the stories are real, or any of that? I don't know. Have no idea. But I do appreciate the principles that are in the Bible, and I like it. Did you come from a spirit-filled church? Yes, I did. I mean, a book can't be fake, but do you mean fiction or nonfiction? I'm assuming nonfiction. If so, have you ever experienced people giving you words of knowledge or wisdom? Yes, I have. Yes. Not like stupidly specific. That happened like twice. Um, but not like over, not like reading my mail and telling me what my phone number is. Not that kind of thing. I heard it, but it was just the image that I put on the beat that inspired it, Nate. Sweet. Well, I need to go hear the beat. What is the meaning of life? Yeah. What is the meaning of life? Okay, I was thinking about this the other day. So, the meaning of life. I don't think the meaning of life is formed into a sentence in any way. I think if there is a meaning of life, I don't think it's a sentence of words. I think it's a story. And I think it's a book. And I think it's the things that we learn from that book. I'm not talking about the Bible, but I'm just saying, speaking metaphorically. I think the meaning of life is a story. I don't think the meaning of life is one simple sentence that will grab the attention of everyone and say, like many people can say, the meaning of life is love. I don't, yes, but that doesn't say much because of how misused the word love has become. I mean, the word love has lost its weight. It's lost its spark, it's lost its fire, its passion. We just say it on a whim. We just say, "Hey, I love you, man," or "Hey, I love you. See you later." It's like, no, it's lost its weight. And so, yes, I think the meaning of life has something to do with love, but I think the meaning of life, to truly grasp it, I think it would be one of those things that we can't articulate it because it's something that you have to experience. We can't articulate it because it's a story. Like, if you notice, whenever we watch a movie that we're like, this is absolutely incredible. And we feel like, there's a movie, like I felt like Arrival with Amy Adams. I felt like that for me captured the meaning of life. And for me, it's hard to describe it. It's hard to put it in the words. I'm just like, you just got to go and see the movie. You just got to watch the movie. Because I think the meaning of life is, it's something that is only spoken. It's something that's only told through a story. It's not told through the meaning of life is love, or the meaning of life is, short answer here. None of that. I think the meaning of life is not a short statement of wisdom. The meaning of life is a story. It's a book. It's a journey. Um, and I think that that can be embraced daily. But I do think the story has everything to do with love. Easy question. If energy never dies, does it bother you to know that one day you'll die and all the effort and information you have put forth is really just a waste of time? How is it a waste of time? I don't think it's a waste of time. LOL, I wish I could react to cool music with my Christian mom, but she's a square. Shells, what's up? Sarah, hey, it's been a while, Sarah. Glad you're here. I agree with you. I haven't had a personal experience with God, so I just end up feeling crazy when attempting to pray or talk to God. Feel you on that. What's your opinion on those spirit-filled Christians that have gave you the words of knowledge or wisdom? There could be something there. I guess to be specific, I feel pretty agnostic about it. I'm like, there could be something there, but a lot of them, and psychics do this all the time. It's a trick. Um, it's something that, like, you can say specific things, like specific things that are actually super general to everybody. Like, you're really coming out of your shell, and I think that you're going to hit a point really soon that is going to open up your heart, and you're going to learn these lessons that are going to completely change your life. And you're even at a point right now where you feel like you're on the fence and you're at the brink of something, and that's coming. Like, you can go on and on about that stuff, and anybody would be like, "Oh my God, yeah, I totally feel that." And it's like, you know, it seems super specific, but it's actually really general. And so that's why I say I've only had a couple of people be really specific to where I'm like, there could be something in that. But most of the time, it's specific in a very general sense. Yo, Dietrich's David O's, you ain't gotta do all caps for me to read your thing. You ain't gotta do all caps. It's all good. Um, I got asked why all my songs are titled on 3 letters yesterday, but it's a secret. Well, I can't wait to hear that secret. The meaning of life is hot dogs, deep fried in chocolate sauce. Wow, that's a okay. What's your thought about heaven and hell? My thought about heaven is it's a possibility that it could exist. My thought about hell is I'm pretty certain, not certain. I'm pretty sure hell doesn't exist, at least not biblically or theologically. There's nowhere in the Bible that it says the traditional hell that every Christian thinks that it should be. You need to take caps lock off, sir. Yeah, that's real. Do you plan on finishing the Bible for at least the knowledge of it? Yeah. Well, I've finished. I've actually read a lot of it. I mean, I've read 3/4 of it, in the New Testament time and time and time and time and time again. So yeah. What if Nate is PewDiePie and is posing as Nate? My God, man, y'all need to stop with this PewDiePie stuff. I mean, okay, like, dude, my wish is that one day people will tell other creators that they look like me. That's the hope. Like, yeah, hot dogs deep fried in chocolate sauce. Ew. Yeah, that was my thought exactly. Love the answer on the meaning. I'm exhausted. I'm not playing. We had another death happen. Are you kidding me, Shells? Man, oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. Some of the principles and laws are good, but a lot of them are but like the law the Bible God make about slavery, so it means that he accepts slavery. And if we bring it to real life, now we humans don't. I'm confused. Eric, you need an IG for your music so people can contact you. That's true. If people, oh my God, it's hot dogs and chocolate thing. I don't know how much you had left, but I remember you saying you had part of the Old Testament to finish. Yeah, just like basically the middle part of the Old Testament. I haven't read. I've read like the first 6 books and most of the poetry and the last 2 or 3 books, but everything in between, I haven't. That sort of judgment is the reason uniqueness be lacking in our world. Personal opinion, the universe is random, and us being here is pretty much pointless. Unless God does exist, but you can still choose to have a good time in the madness. Backwards Panda, what's going on, man? I am glad you are here. And I mean, I pretty much agree with your statement. But at the same time, I don't think life is meaningless. I think there is a point to life. If life was meaningless, then I don't think we would have evolved as much as we have. I think that if life was truly meaningless, we would all still be barbarians, and we would all just be fighting to survive. But now we're not so much fighting to survive; we're fighting to thrive. So we have evolved. It's become different. It talks about the lake of fire. That is the only thing close, and the only thing close to that is annihilationism. Um, but even still, it's just that verse that talks about the lake of fire could be interpreted differently. It doesn't have to be interpreted as like right at like the hell and the lake of fire. It doesn't. Wow. See all the famous people that have their quirky personalities, and people be like, wow, they're so special. Probably most of us are special, but won't be actually living the way we feel. That's true. The famous people that get, like famous people that get well known because of their personality, because they're totally and unapologetically open to being them. And most people are afraid to be them. So good on them for being them and being famous for it. That's cool. Girlfriend is here. Time to see if my cooking is good. All right, Eric. Peace out. People always say seek God. and you will find him. Honestly, I don't think I've done extensive research, but it seems like you have. What are your thoughts when people say this? Seek God and you will find him? I think that's what I'm doing. Um, I don't think seeking God and finding him has to, I think that's the journey of believing in God. I think that's the journey at arriving to that point. So when people say seek God and find him, I'm like, I am seeking God, but what I find, if it's not God, then that's what it is. Um, so, and they don't like to hear that. I'm like, I'm just searching for what's truth. And if God is truth, then I think I'll find it. But if that's not the truth, then I don't think I'll find it, or, then that's what truth is. And that's just what it is. So yeah, seek God and you will find him. I feel like I am seeking for God, but I don't know if I'm finding him. And I think I think that's okay. I don't think that's my fault. I don't think that's because of bitterness or resentment or anything like that. But that's the journey of it all. You don't have to believe in God. That's what I feel faith is. You don't have to believe in God to have faith. But you can't, and this is important, you can't believe in God through faith. I just think I think that's kind of a cop out, but it's just my opinion. Um, so yeah, maybe that makes sense. Maybe that helps. So hell not in the Old Testament. Look up the Hebrew. So what did you find that's totally different from the traditional teachings about hell in the Old Testament? Why would a loving God put us through this if this was his plan? That's a great question that I do not have the answer to. Again, I'm really sorry about that. That's the worst. That is just I can't even imagine, Shells. And I would totally be at a place of questioning everything as well. Um, what's your imagination? What's your imagination about the Judgment Day? What imagination about Judgment Day? I don't think I don't think Judgment Day. And okay, that's what I need clarified. What do you mean by Judgment Day? There's many ways that can be interpreted. What does the verse say that people made everyone uh, construct the idea of how most people imagine hell? When Jesus talks about Hades, and it was interpreted in Greek as hell, which it's interpreted into Hades once. All the other times it's Gehenna, which is a place outside of Jerusalem. And it's not, a fiery burning hell. So, and even in Hades, it's the cultural context of why he was mentioning Hades. That's very important to know. But I do think that most people, weeping and gnashing of teeth, that's something that Jesus said. And so it's just all taken out of context though. When you research it and look at it. Yeah. Is there anything you believe in with absolute certainty? Yeah, me. I'm pretty certain I'm here. Pretty certain I'm real. Pretty sure the world around me is real. Um, I can feel it. I can touch it. Um, how can we make any judgments about the metaphysical world using physical experiences? Well, why wouldn't we be able to? And, it's an idea that it's a metaphysical world, but what if we do have access to that, i.e., quantum consciousness, quantum entanglement, lucid dreaming, and out of body experiences or astral projection? It's a metaphysical world, but many people have claimed to venture into it. And there's even some very interesting scientific data saying that that's an actual possibility. So, and I think in that regard, you can make judgments about the so-called metaphysical world, but it does have, you are experiencing it. I don't know physically because physically would imply your body, but I do think that you can make judgments about the metaphysical world if you experience it like in your conscious. Well, you know what? I'm not even going to make those assumptions because I haven't experienced it for myself. Once I do, if that happens, I'll let you know what I really think. But I do believe with absolute certainty that I am existing. I am real. I believe in myself. So there's that. If God is just and holy God, then there must be a judgment day. Okay, what do you mean by judgment day? When is the next meme review? What's your favorite five song? What? Favorite thing you've read in the Bible, and least favorite thing in the Bible. Favorite thing I've read in the Bible, well, the first verse that comes to mind is the verse in Proverbs, I think it's 2, where it says, when wisdom cries out in the streets, saying, how, oh naive ones, how could you love being so simple-minded? It was that me reading that proverb, realizing that, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, that the Holy Spirit, which is the spirit of wisdom, so that's what Proverbs is talking about, is a woman. It refers to the spirit of wisdom, Holy Spirit, as a woman in the Old Testament. And so I was like, wow, there is a feminine side to God, even theologically. But as well as everything that I was, learning about love at the time, that even, wisdom herself, God herself, cries out, calling everyone naive, and saying, "How could you love being so simple-minded?" And it really made me think about love and what it is and why, how everything about love. It got me thinking about love so much, and so I still think about that verse, which I really, really enjoy, which I really like. Least favorite thing about the Bible. Least favorite thing about the Bible, I guess, in general, is just how much people hold it as a law. I don't think it's a law. Um, do you feel loved? And hey, Cassandra, my God, this is getting old. Cassandra, how you doing? Good to see you here. Do you feel loved? Um, that is a great question. And if I am answering honestly and truthfully, I would say not totally. Not totally. Um, so yeah, that's just me being really real right now. But by myself, yes. I do feel like I do a decent job loving myself. By others, not completely. Or not, I would say not as much as I liked. But then what does that say about my expectations? So maybe that's something on me as well. It's called Shield or Gehenna. Yep, like you said, and has multiple levels to it, just one level, not just one level of absolute hell. Looking it up in Hebrew alongside of context reveals that it's the same as heaven, or heaven is the same way. Damn, that's pretty crazy. Okay, that whole thing, shells of God will never put more on you than you can handle, is bullshit. Or it's his plan. I have a very, I was a very devoted Christian after all this, watching my family go through all this. Yep. Yeah. No. Okay. So I'm just addressing that first. That God will never put more on you than you can handle. That's bullshit. If God's real, I think God will put more on you than you can handle, because you got to go through the fire to be shaped and molded how He wants you to be shaped and molded. Again, that's just theology. He's done that time and time again in the Bible. Um, and so I think God constantly puts things on us that we can't handle, but it's to push us. That's like Tony Robbins. I mean, this obviously isn't in the Bible, but he said, Tony Robbins says that pain is not meant to punish us. Pain is meant to push us in the direction that we need to go. And so I don't, why wouldn't God do the same thing? And if God is real and he knows that you're going to see them again one day, then yeah, I mean, it's sad now, but in the spectrum of, if you live for eternity, what's 50 years to eternity? So, But I understand your point, and I'd be right where you are. So I say all that, but totally get where you're at. What up? Mendez, what's going on? Have you read The Power of Now? If yes, what is your thought about it? I have not read The Power of Now. If not, is a spiritual book. It's a must read. Huh. I'm good. How about you? I'm well. Uh, well then, do you think honestly you deserve to be loved as much as you want to be loved? I would like to think so. And that again, that leads to expectation. What is, what's my actual expectation versus reality? Is my expectation that I want people to love me just my unwillingness to love myself in those areas? Or do I actually need love from other people? And then, but I'm not doing anything. I'm being selfish about it. That it's like, actually, I need to go and ask people, like to spend time with me or for encouragement or whatever, instead of just me hoping that they will come to me and ask it or encourage me, you know. So maybe that's on me. But do I feel like I deserve it? I think, yes. Um, as much as you want to, do you honestly think you deserve to be loved as much as you want to be loved? I'd like to think so. Death is natural. It's painful for everyone, but most people agree living forever would have less sense, even if it's related or not to any god. Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm sick of watching him take good people while Pettis and Myrtles walk around fine. Sorry if I'm bitter, but just my thoughts. I totally get it. 100% get it, Chills. Yeah, I don't think Adam and Eve has anything to do with Christians losing family members. I don't think that either. His standard is so high, and he said, if you look at a woman with lust, you have committed adultery in her heart. Um, what is your opinion? What is your opinion on the existence of aliens and how controversial it might be for Christians? Oh man, I don't know. I have no idea. As I just got done reading these books on out of body experiences by Robert Monroe, and he says he, has seen aliens, but they're not aliens. They're actually people that are living beyond death, and people, and they're like advanced human beings, something weird like that. But people mistake them to be aliens. I don't know. I have no idea what my thoughts are on that. It's I was interested in all that, like aliens and whether or not they existed, whatever, like a long time ago. But now I'm like, I just don't care. I just don't care about it, honestly. Or at least that what I feel. But the thing I dislike the most is the more you like a person, the more it hurts to see them go. It actually makes me stay further from some people. So is that a fear of rejection then? Um, do you actually believe in this people who actually confess to have been in hell and back or heaven and back? Hell and back, I question. Heaven and back, I question, but not as much as I question hell and back. The reason being is because theologically, looking at the Bible, hell in the traditional sense does not exist. In most of the stories that you've heard from people who have been to hell, it directly reflects the exact traditional view of hell. Um, and that traditional view doesn't exist in the Bible. But heaven and back, like these books that I just got done reading on out of body experiences, a lot of what he says sounds similar to what I've read with Christian mystics, sounds similar to what I've heard from people I know personally who have claimed to have been to heaven and back. So, yeah. Those creatures in the deep dark ocean look crazy. They have bioluminescence and transparent skulls. It's crazy. I think it's crazy how that stuff even exists, to be honest. I like these chats. It's nice getting a different perspective from someone I feel like I relate more with about religion and faith. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. And I also, really appreciate these conversations. Um, what do you feel you get out of these chats? Content from a practical standpoint. But for me, I don't know. There's something in me that I want to. I can't just not do something. Like, and what I mean by that is like I don't think from what I've done on here is really create. I'm creating a community of people that I want to make a safe place for people to be able to search, to be able to seek, to be able to not have answers, to be able to not have it all together. And I feel like I'm building that. And so I do think there's a point and a purpose to it. And my hope is that it will grow. My hope is that it will grow into a much larger community of people where they feel safe in discovering, where they feel safe in journeying, where they feel safe in questioning. And I that gives me joy. That makes me feel like I'm making a difference, not just for myself, but I'm making a difference for everybody else. And I do know, like, and this isn't me being like facetious or prideful in any way. Like, I do know from, I got it from my dad. My dad is a very, very wise man. And wisdom is not meant to be kept to yourself. And I've inherited some of that from him. Many people have told me I have the gift of wisdom, and I don't even look at that as a spiritual thing. I just look at it as the way that I've been taught to think has been handed down to me from my parents, which I'm very, very grateful for. And my whole philosophical thought process and stuff, I don't think everybody thinks that way, and I value myself enough to know that like, people can benefit from the way that I think. And like I said, it's not me being prideful. That's actually me being humble and admitting that, like, I do have these gifts and I do think that the world can benefit from them. And so to be humble, and to not keep these things to myself, even though I don't have answers, keep these thoughts to myself. I think it's necessary for me to do this. So this is me practicing that, and this is me wanting to create that community. So, yeah. Okay, so I've been smelling paint fumes all day from painting. So just try to follow me on this idea. Okay. All right. That person who worked with the CIA and astral travel talk about seeing beings on different planets as well. Well, of course you did. Do you have a name? Who that person is? All right, Cassandra. Here we go. You meet a person of preferred gender romantically, fall in love, and then okay. You meet a person of preferred gender romantically, fall in love, and then one day you look at that person and realize it's yourself, like it is you. Upon making this realization, do you continue loving this person just as much or less? I would say just as much. Um, And I don't think that's a selfish thing at all. I think it is, the first thing that comes to mind is actually a Justin Timberlake song, Mirror. That's off of the 2020 Experience album, which is my favorite album by him. It's like you're my mirror staring back at me. No, 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 no. How could it get any clearer knowing that you're right beside me? Promise now we're making two reflections into one because it's like you're my mirror staring back at me. I think that song is like perfectly describes this. I mean, I don't think it's wrong at all. I mean, you want to find a partner to do life with you. You don't want to find like, the whole thing of opposites attract. I think about that like constantly and thinking about dating and relationships because I'm like, I think they do attract, but I think it's something in you that it's like it's this you're running from yourself. If you're running from yourself, then you're going to be attracted to somebody who's not anything like you. So, the whole thing of opposites attract, I question if that's actually healthy for relationships. I do think you need to find someone who is completely on board with you and completely on board with your thoughts, your beliefs, what you think. And it is a mirror. It helps you see a better side of yourself. And I think you need that mirror in life with a partner. And I don't think that would make anybody fall less in love with that person. I think if anything, I think it would make them fall more in love with that person. So that's a short bit of what I think. I'm sure I could go on about that, but does that answer or what do you think? What would you do? Hold the phone. Clever name here. Jess, are you on live chat right now? Hidden by clever name here. Jess, welcome. Why aren't you talking? Yo, what's up, man? Daniel D. Sorry I've missed so many. Just moved. Hope everything is good. Um, yeah. No, everything's great. Where'd you move to? Where'd you move from? Where'd you move to? Glad you're here, man. Do you have some thoughts on how okay. Do you have some thoughts on how do you search, find on your own mission in this life a calling? Would love to hear your thoughts on that point. Find on your own mission in this life a calling. Do you have some thoughts on how do you search, find your own mission in this life, a calling? I think the search is a lot more about this. It's a lot more about this. It's a lot more about you finding you. The search is you finding you. The purpose in life is not what you do. The purpose in life is who you are. And in who you are, being a gift to the world, being a gift to the society, being a gift to bettering the people around you, bettering yourself and the people around you. The mission is always you becoming you. Because once you become you, you become unstoppable. And so, yeah, I think your calling in life. And so if your focus is not on what you do, but it's on who you are, that can be reflected in any way. That can be, you can do anything if your purpose and calling is to be who you really meant to be. You can do anything. Now, that gets into existentialism versus essentialism, which existentialism says that you have the choice that you can do absolutely anything, which I'm down with that to an extent, but I'm more of an essentialist, which Plato came up with essentialism, and he said that essentialism, you are born with an essence, and that essence has a lot to do with who you are and what you will become. And that's not to say we don't have free will in that. And I do believe in free will. And that's why I'm like partially like, yes, I do believe in existentialism a bit, but I do believe that we were born with an essence. And that essence of like who I am, right? the more I focus on who I am, the more I realize I'm very artistically minded. I am a very I think off the top of my head. Like I'm a very like I'm an adrenaline junkie. Like all these different things that like when I look at the essence of who I am, I'm like, oh, okay, I would do a lot better being an actor or a musician. That's where I can fit perfectly. And so it's not that that was the way it was always meant. Like, yes, both my parents are musicians, and yes, my mom taught me to play guitar when I was 5, but that didn't predetermine me to be a musician. My family, they're all musicians, but they don't do it for a job. That was just the path that I chose to take. And so, but it all comes down to who are you, and what do you feel like once you find what makes you come alive truly. What can you do in life that will help bring you out of you? To me, that's music. To me, that's acting. To me, that's the arts. To somebody else, that might be a business. That might be, um, you know, the stock market. That might be Wall Street. It just you got to find you. That's the whole journey. That idea from Cassandra is really interesting. Imagine the level of productivity, two people with the same hobbies, aspirations, career goals. That's how I feel like it's supposed to be, honestly. Wow, uh, this guy can even make a Justin Timberlake song "Deep" goals. Well, honestly, less, but that's just because I don't love myself as much as I strive to. Blaming my a blaming my age, I'm learning. Why? So you're admitting, uh, Cassandra, that the reason why you would say you would love them less is because you don't love yourself? Is that, I mean, am I hearing that right? From Cape Cod to Boston. Boston, nice. Love Boston. Well, I love the Boston accent, I should say. Why not believe in God if the Bible has a lot of proven facts? Does it though? Your reaction to the song "Water" on Jesus is King had me dead. Dude, that man, when I first started listening to that song, I was not feeling it. I was like, this Kanye went off the deep end with this one. I was like, I mean, you could see me and my dad, we're both like, what is this song right now? Oh my God. Any thought on Kanye's new album? I think Kanye is extremely smart. He just had trouble translating his thoughts into spoken word. Um, so Daniel, me and my dad reacted to the entire album on my dad's channel, Pastor Reacts channel. And you can hear all my thoughts on there. I think I'm going to make a video for this channel sharing my thoughts. But yeah, I I'll share them then. But if you want to hear my thoughts beforehand, then you can check out all the video. We reacted to the whole album, so go check that out. Pastor Reacts channel. Cassandra, have you heard of Twin Flames? Oh, here we go. Clever name here. She's here. I feel like Jess. How long have you been here? P.S. Hello, Nate. Hello, Poppet. How are ya? If there's any person from the UK or England listening, I'm so sorry. That was probably terrible. Um, the concept is basically what you're proposing: two people who mirror each other in effort to bring out all the buried trash and heal it with love. Man, that's what I want. That's what I want in a relationship. Explains why when he takes his time to write his thoughts, he makes good lyrics. I do love myself to a certain extent, but not as much as I can love others. Loving and caring for myself is somehow heavier and more of a burden, and loving others effortless. I totally get it. You got like a savior complex going on. I have the same thing. Um, and it really, I mean, your breakthroughs in life are You can just, you know, take this how you take it. I feel like your breakthroughs in life, if you're anything like me, because I have that same problem, your breakthroughs in life are going to come when you start to love yourself more, to love who you are more. You'll feel more free than you ever have before. Um, so I encourage you to explore ways to learn to love yourself more. Also, been a great week of philosophical content. Thanks for all the uploads, even the ones that are pulled from live stream. It's great to post, but I missed the part about why Christians are afraid of meditation. So happy you uploaded it from live stream. Man, I'm glad you said something because I've been questioning like the clips that I make from these live streams. I'm like, should I keep doing it? Is it too much? Because I'm still going to be making vlogs. I've just been like crazy busy the last 2 weeks. But I'm like, is it too much to upload? Like, I mean, I don't think so. It gets me more content. But to upload like these small clips from live, or do people really enjoy it? I'm still going to make vlogs like, with not from live stream. But I'm glad that you said that you appreciate it and like it because it's just encouraging to me. But I also want to ask people, is it like super annoying or do they like it? So, yes, it does. For example, it talks about the Earth being a sphere and that it's floating out of nothing. We didn't discover that till the 1600s. That doesn't prove anything. OMG, you did reactions on Kanye. I was waiting for it. Gonna check it out. Yes, check it out. Pastor reacts. My family don't. My family still don't know about where I'm at now. Not Christian anymore. I've seen how Christians in Africa treat skeptics like me. It's hard for me to tell my parents, but I will tell them one day. I get it, man. I totally get it. I don't. I mean, honestly, I haven't even told my parents a lot of the ways that, even if I were to start believing in God again, a lot of the theological ideas that I had before have gone out the window. I mean, they're just like they're gone. And those are things that I haven't even told my parents, and I know that they would not be happy about it. They wouldn't like it. So anyway, keeping my voice down because I know that my mom has ears like she has super hearing. So yeah, there's that. Cassandra, but once you see that we are all one, and though you can appreciate the you in everyone, then how could you not just hug yourself? And I've been here spying for exactly how long I've been here. Sinister laughing. Damn it, Jess. You've been here since the beginning. Since the beginning, and you know it. I have been I have before, but never heard that version of its meaning. That sounds wonderful. Yeah, I should comment more because I watched all track reactions from Jesus King, but didn't comment on any of them. But yeah, man, definitely love when you take segments from live stream. Well, dope. Then I will keep on doing it. Not that I was ever going to stop doing it, but um, I like knowing that the content that I make, people enjoy it. I enjoy it, but that people also enjoy it. Cassandra, it's not wonderful. It's retrospect. It's retrospect. It's wonderful in the moment and respectively. If one isn't awake as much, was it typical? Do you believe in human giants? I mean, yeah. Like, have you ever watched basketball? I mean, um, no, but I get what you said. I get what you mean. That dude that played in The Princess Bride, that dude was a giant. But are you talking like giants like 15 feet tall, 600-pound people? I, I don't know. I mean, they have found bones, big people. So who knows? I think you should keep pulling clips from lives. It's something Gary Vee would definitely approve. Yes, he would approve. And I don't know. So Gary Vaynerchuk's birthday was yesterday, and he gave away this booklet. You can download it for free as a PDF, talking about how you can make 64 pieces of content in a day. And he talks about taking segments out of live streams. So I'm like, well, I already do that. That's pretty cool. It's not annoying to recap little segments from the streams. Well, sweet. To know that a person is me, I see lessons through them. However, this soul is also an individual, and so there are lessons from me too. And there in times when you experience them without lesson. What? Journaling on the process helps much of the process. I don't journal, I vlog. Everybody sees my journaling. Nate, tell me about those stories you said you thought might be comparable to my dream story. Okay, your dream story. I remember I briefly I'd have to go back and read your dream story again. The Robert Monroe story. Oh, the Robert Monroe. I thought you were talking about my personal experiences. No, so the Robert Monroe stories. They're all throughout his first book. I mean, all throughout his first book, Journeys Out of the Body. He talks about how he would he'd go out of body and he would see uh, this. I'm gonna butcher this story, but he saw a friend of his unloading something in the car out of this car, and he didn't recognize the objects. And then he saw his wife inside folding these napkins. He was like, "This is super weird." And then he woke up and asked what these people were doing at that exact moment. And the guy was unloading these weird objects from his car, and she was like inside folding napkins. It's exactly what he saw. Other times he went and visited people. He would go and visit people all the time to like test out, hey, were you doing this at this time when I was out of body? And honestly, it's weird how many times like the evidence of what he wrote shows that he was out of body. He saw those people actually doing those things. And so it's a number of stories like that. And it reminded me of your story that you told me because something Robert Monroe says in his book is that we leave our bodies every single night. We just don't remember it. Um, and that's like the reason why he got to where he was is because he studied like noises and sound frequencies that to help people sleep better. And a side effect was him doing these OBEs, getting out of body. He was the one that came up with HemiSync with binaural beats. And so, yeah, and he's convinced that people experience the same things, but they just don't remember it. So what I'm trying to say and what I'm telling you, Jess, is that I think if you are leaving your body, if that's a thing, that's what you're doing, but you're remembering it more than the average human being. So that's a possibility. I believe that dude who wrote that book was David Morehouse, and the book is called Psychic Warrior. Wow. But I have to watch that video series again to know for sure. Well, that's the case. That's pretty cool. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. Psychic Warrior. Wow. Help, I can't leave Christianity. Back and forth for so long, I don't feel free. Um, hmm. Why do you feel like you can't leave? That's my first question. And what makes you keep going back and forth? The Bible says they looked at us like the size of crickets. I don't know about that. Where is that? That wasn't it. If you're talking about Genesis, I've read Genesis several times. Never saw anything like that in there. Are we sure Monroe wasn't popping Molly or acid when he experienced said body experience? JK, it's just, I'm materialist. Definitely interesting, though. Yeah, I know you're a materialist. And actually, you got me interested because I knew I wasn't totally a materialist. So I went up and did some reading up on like what am I? And I'm much more of an idealist than a materialist. Um, and but I do, because it's interesting. Like Rene Descartes describes. There's a number of different ways that philosophers have described idealism, and that it's our thoughts live on a different plane than the physical world. Um, I guess materialists don't necessarily think that. They think, and correct me if I'm wrong, that our thoughts live. Our thoughts are a part of the material world. They're just a part of our consciousness. But Rene Descartes and a couple other philosophers thought that idealism, saying that our consciousness was on a separate level, our thoughts are on a separate level, and I'm thinking that that could be the case. But it's also it's how you think about it, because if you look at it, because you can even point to science, you can say quantum consciousness, quantum entanglement, that sort of thing, to where our ideas and our thought patterns are on a different spectrum, are on a different wavelength than the material world. Uh, but you could also look at it from the scientific perspective of, yeah, just because we see this dimension, that doesn't mean that other dimensions don't. Just because we can't see other dimensions doesn't mean other dimensions don't exist. So science says that there are other dimensions, like time we feel, time we can't see, but time is a dimension that exists. That's also material. So I don't know where's that line in materialism. Like, is it just anything that I can see, feel, and touch is real? If that's just it, because if that's what materialism is, then I would say I'm not on that line, and I'm definitely more of an idealist, because some of the thoughts that I've had have changed my life, changed how I perceive things, um, change how I experience things, change how I see, feel, and touch things, and what is real and what is tangible. And so, in that case, I'm more of an idealist, uh, but materialist. I get what you're saying. But my question to you, as a materialist, or my question to you, being a materialist, is, if these other planes of existence, were to be real scientifically, would you say, well, that's just material, like that's included in materialism, or would you say that's something else? Do you feel we all have a purpose in life? Define purpose. Is your purpose, and I've said this before, I'll say it, I've said it a million times, and I'll say it again. Is your purpose, do you think your purpose is what you do, or do you think your purpose is who you are? I've been under the impression for a few years now. Well, I guess not been under the impression, but have come to the realization, is a better way of putting it, that our purpose in life is not what we do, but it's who we are. And in that sense, I do feel like we all have a purpose. We all have a purpose to be the best and fulfilling us that we can be. The best, our best selves. That is our purpose in life. OMG, that's synchronicity right there. I've been seeing these binaural beats videos, and I've thought probably 100 times I should check that out. And you just brought it up. I use binaural beats. I like them. They work. They work really well, actually, for relaxation and everything, even. Okay, so you said fear and guilt. Yeah, please go more in detail about. Would love to hear more about what you're going through. Yes, I agree. I say there is God, there is a God because we are there is a God because we are too smart. If there wasn't, we would be stupid. I don't know. I don't even know what to say to that. I don't think that's the case. I don't agree with that. I got really tripped out thinking about dimensions today, speaking of that. That could trip you out for sure. Man, keep saying my connection is unstable. Nate, glad you said that because I've had some others tell me that they are dangerous, and I've wondered, missed, because who knows if someone had bad intent when they created that energy can be transferred. Yeah, I don't think binaural beats are bad. I think they're great. There is a science to binaural beats. It is proven science. Look it up. There's nothing harmful or bad about binaural beats. And it's not even beats. I actually don't even like that term, binaural beats. It's hemisync uh, frequencies. Hemisync frequencies. I more meant the person who makes them. Gotcha. Finding the truth is endless, just another disguise for the devil to distract you from getting closer to God. So you're saying God is outside of truth? If that's what you're saying, I mean, that's kind of what you're implying. Because if you're searching for truth, and if Jesus is right in what he said, that I am the way, the truth, and the life, then if you're searching for truth, then you are searching for God. So if finding truth is endless and just another disguise for the devil, that would mean God is outside of truth, which would mean God isn't truth. All the truth you need is in the Bible. That's not the case. Is there something you as a person can do that no one else can? Not like, yes, anything, because everyone does it uniquely in their own way, but truly only you as yourself can. Yes. And it has to do with your view. I don't think it has to do with what you do, because you're saying, yes, anything, because everyone does it uniquely and in their own way. Um, okay. Is there something you as a person can do that no one else can? Not like, yes, anything, because everyone does it uniquely in their own way, but truly only you as yourself can do. I would say yes, that there is things that you, well, okay, let me clarify. In the regards to doing, no. Other people can do things that you do, but the only thing that you can do is do it in your own way. And I say do it in your own way. I'm not even talking about doing though, because that's exactly what you said. I'm not talking about doing. I'm talking about, see, this gets back to what I've been saying, is that your purpose in life is not what you do, but it's who you are. Because the way that somebody does something won't be in the way that you do it. But that's, again, that's going back to doing. God, I'm just, don't listen to me right now. Okay, what I am trying to say is your perspective. your lens. Nobody has it. Nobody has had or will ever have the lens of which you see the world by. And so that translates into what you do. And so really it's how you think about it. Because if you fully accept who you are, it's fully accepting the way that you see the world, and which can be changed, which does need to be changed in some ways. But your perspective, no one has, no one will ever have. And that perspective of how you it will translate into how you do things, which will make it super unique. So when you only think about doing, when you only thinking about like will just this is just a stupid example, but like can can somebody pick up that object the same way that you pick up that object? It's like no, you're just picking up an object. Anybody can do that. But when you're talking about things, more intricate things, rather than just the simple mundane things of life, like starting a charity, starting a nonprofit, you know, having helping homeless people, whatever it could be. No one will do it like you because no one has the perspective that you have. When you go about those things with your own perspective on life, on what should be done, then you'll end up doing them differently. So if you just only think in regards of what you do, like can only you do something that nobody else can do, I don't necessarily think that, but I do think that if your perspective is in the right place, and if you think about it in terms of perspective, then yes, I would say there's some things that only you can do that nobody else can do. But again, that all goes into how you perceive the world and how you perceive yourself. The way that I try to perceive myself is that I am a vessel and I'm a gift to the world. And that's even, my parents named me Nathaniel, which means it means gift from God, but or Nate, gift, right? So that's the way I try to look at myself, that I am actually a gift to the world. So how can I better myself to be and change my perspective to love myself enough so that I can recognize that I am actually a gift that the world can benefit from? Then, with the perspective that only I have, I will only invent things that I could only invent, that nobody else could invent. I will do things that nobody else would even thought of. And I think that's it right there. That the things that only you can do are things that nobody else would have thought of but you, when you truly accept who you are and the way that you see yourself and the way that you see the world. I'm hoping that makes sense. Um, uh, so tell me if that makes sense. But yeah, that's what I would say to that. The Bible itself is fact, the best argument for atheism. Yo, that's a great quote. He's Nate. What I gain from him as a person, friend, teacher is something I could never experience from another person. That hits me here, Jess. Hits me right here. Really appreciate that. I'm being completely serious too. If the truth doesn't involve God's word, then the truth is just a misguided. Man, that's like crazy fundamentalist right there. I feel like that statement is just a religious statement. If Satan had wronged God in the Bible, God is a forgiving and loving God. Why don't he forgive Satan? Fantastic question. Question I have been actually I addressed that on my podcast. I made a podcast about Lucifer and the Joker, and if there's such thing as pure evil, which is out now. Listen to it on Spotify. Listen to it on whatever Apple, whatever. Go check out that podcast. It's number 2. But I talk about that very thing because that's a great question to ask. Looking forward to it. This is why it's so important to love yourself. Yes, because you have the ability to change the world like no one else could. You are you, and that's really something. Ah, learning curves. True. I'm gonna have to come back with you on me with your question. I'm gonna have to come back with you on me with your question. It was a great question about different planes. Are scientifically proven, but for the part on thoughts and dreams, I believe that they are in the brain and not out our body. My question to you, Simba, is if you like the stories of Robert Monroe. I don't think those stories, because he says in his book, I mean, I don't know if you watched my review on the first book or not, but he says in his book, he has been he he went out of body in a lab where he was watched by scientists. And he talks about it in the book, and in the back of both books, he um, got checked out by a psychiatrist, by a psychologist, by a I don't know, somebody who works with people, crazy people, psychiatrist. And he was like, write a report for me, like do all these tests on me and write a report, like tell me if I'm crazy, tell me if I have some sort of mental disorder, tell me what's going on. And the dude was like, yeah, you check out, like you're fine. He wasn't on drugs. He doesn't take drugs. And yet the things that he experiences can be um, witnessed by other people. And so I can't look at that and just say, yeah, there's nothing there. Like there could very well be something there. Um, and that's just me. I after reading these books, before I was like, nah, like 20%, like yeah, OBEs are a thing. Now after reading these books, I'm like 75%, like OBEs could definitely be a thing. I think that would make it 100% if I had it happen to myself. Which is why I love these books, because he says the only way you're going to believe this is if you do it for yourself. So do it for yourself. And then he writes 2 chapters on the process of going out of body. And so, yeah, yeah. But I'm looking forward to your response on materialism because I feel like that's a great question for materialists in regard to different planes of existence. Hmm. All right. Nice. Yo, Billie Eilish came out with a new track. Everything I Wanted. Huh. Haven't heard it yet. That's cool. Simba, if you're still here, have you checked out that podcast or my podcast yet? Curious on your thoughts. Dude, is this chat? Wow, that was a fail. Test. Unable to connect to chat. Okay, this is interesting. There might be something up with the stream. I'm not sure if um you all can chat or not. If so, I'm not getting either you guys aren't commenting or I'm not getting your comments because I'm not able to connect to the chat. Um well, this kind of blows. If you guys are commenting right now, I can't see anything. All right, hold on. Yeah, chat is not. I don't think the chat is working right now, guys. It says unable to connect to chat. So like I said, if you guys aren't, unless you guys might not be commenting, but we see you. We're commenting. Yeah, I can't see any of the comments. This kind of really sucks. It says I'm unable to connect to the chat. Please try again later. I don't know how to reconnect to the chat. Here we go. All right. Now I got it. I don't know. All right. So I had to open it up in a different window. All well here. Can you see us? No, I can see you fine. Phone froze. We can hear you fine. Coming in hot. It's awesome. God damn it. YouTube said our chatting is too thought provoking and needs to be dumped down, so they're hiding our comments. Hey, man, that's a possibility. YouTube is ridiculous. All right. I don't know why it has to do it through damn the man, save the misfits. Yes. FBI has entered the chat. Hey, man, it's a possibility. Send feedback. FBI, open up. Save the Misfits. Clever name. Hashtag save the Misfits. Yo, well, all you Misfits still watching, if you haven't seen my video on how much money do I actually make on YouTube, I announce all of my Patreon rewards in that video. So I think I'm going to make a video talking about each reward separately, but I do have a Discord channel now. I do have exclusive live with you guys can call in and chat with me. And I do have a book club. So that requires a webcam, and it's going to be faced webcam. It's going to be a group of people on chatting on the Zoom chat. So that's here. So check out my Patreon page, and that is all available to you all. I'm gonna have to get off. Peace. Aw, dude. All right, man. Peace. Well, we only got a little bit left. I think I'm only gonna go like 3 more minutes. Um, so yeah. Any final closing thoughts for this live stream? It's been a good stream, y'all. I mean, I just titled this AMA, but you know, the last 3 weeks, like we've been staying pretty well on topic. I'm really digging it. It's good stuff. Cassandra, hey, I said your name and then you commented. I like it. What do you feel when you get the realization in or after a conversation with someone else of being wrong about something you believed your whole life? Um, Sometimes I feel enlightened. Other times I feel like that hurts so good because I want to live by truth. I want to know the truth and live by it. Um, there's been some times where I'm like, no, that's not the case. No, not at all. I don't think that at all. That's not true. And then like 2 days later, I'm like, oh my God, they're totally right. And so it can hurt, cause pain, but it's a good kind of pain. It's like that hurts so good. This is great. 12:59 a.m. here. Yo, that's what's up. I really, really appreciate you being here, staying up late, taking the time to be a part of this. That is amazing, Henry. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So Cassandra, back to you. What you were, or your question, what you were saying, or what I was saying about your question. Yeah, sometimes it hurts so good, that kind of thing, and it's just you got to accept it. If it's truth, you got to accept it. And if it's changing the way that you've been living your whole life, yeah, yeah, that's just I would rather live by truth. So if it change if I need to change in a way that helps me live by truth, then that's then I'll change. No matter how bad it hurts, no matter how good it feels. I mean, hopefully the more enlightened the conversation, the better it is. But um, yeah, I guess it depends on what emotion, but it all comes down to me living by truth. Sometimes it'll make me feel enlightened. Sometimes it'll make me it'll hurt, but it's kind of like it hurts so good because then I know that I'm living by truth. So shout out to London. Yeah. 1:59 a.m. here. That is what's up. Sai. So glad that you're here, man. That is amazing. I had to actually give thought to forgiving myself for the spreading of certain false concepts. Wow. I think that's important because it's nature. It's not wrong to be wrong. It's wrong to stay wrong. That's a good line. It's not wrong to be wrong. It's wrong to stay wrong. I like that. Yes, perfect timing here too. 2:01 a.m. True about the answer. Hello growth. Man, that is amazing. I really appreciate you guys for staying up late, being able to do this. Um would I mean, are you guys cool with this, or would you want me to do it earlier? I mean, this is the time that works for me. So, but I can also do it earlier too. So, what are your thoughts on the flat Earth theory? I did a little looking into it, and the curvature what is off, but I'm not a flat earther. But I do believe it's not as implausible as many make it seem. I need to look into it more. I need to look into it a little more. Yeah, I think the Earth is a sphere. That's just, I, yeah. For me, it's common sense for me. I haven't looked into it. I don't know it for sure, but for me, it's just common sense. The Earth is a sphere. That's just, yeah. You said do it. Nate, you're so beautiful to look at and listen. Lovely light coming through. I send you much love and appreciation. That means the world to me. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, Sai. Really appreciate that. It is very encouraging and worthy of a screenshot. Yes, I screenshot y'all's comments because some of them, because I really take, I don't take that stuff lightly. Like when you guys say that, like that hits me in like the best ways. And I value words like that and I really take them to heart. So thank you. I really do appreciate that. The time is perfect. Dope. And I'm an adult talked in a teenager mind. I'm guessing trapped. You are the gift. So I will forever adjust my sleep schedule to the chosen one. Yes, Cassandra. That's what's up. Oh, I appreciate that. That is awesome. Religion is a lot like flat earth. Their arguments are circular. Oh, wait. I wish the flat earth era would just fly to the edge and take the picture already. No. Yeah, I should have known not to look into it, that rabbit hole, but it intrigued me enough to want to look into it more. Like I said, I don't look into it enough so to believe it. Totally get it. Um, yeah. Wait till he invades your dreams. Do I invade your dreams, Jess? Well, that's cool. I'll invade your dreams. I'll invade people's dreams. That sounds fun. Well, on that note, guys, in the best way. Well, do tell more about these dreams. Yes, do tell. Sounds dirty. It does sound dirty. Now I'm intrigued, so I'm just going to watch this conversation take place. No, not actually. But yeah, so that's what I think about flat Earth. I'm not gonna look into it until like if somebody like say if like Sam Harris or Matt Dillahunty or Jordan Peterson or like one of these like pop culture philosophers were to be like, yeah, totally, the Earth is flat. I've looked into it. Then I would look into it a bit more. But for now, I'm like, no, it's common sense. The Earth is round. I mean, the Earth is a sphere. So, um, I mean, we're all a bunch of naked buffoons. Couldn't have said it better myself. I had a thought today because all of my vlogs I do sitting down on this desk, so I could be pantsless all the time and nobody would know. I'm not going to do that. Don't worry. Night night, kids. Yes. So 2 hours. All right, guys. So really appreciate you guys. Really enjoy these live chats. Tonight was sick. Really appreciate these deep conversations. more content coming to you next week. Like I said, be sure to check out my Patreon account. Got whole new rewards, whole new system. If you haven't checked out the podcast yet, the Philosophical Misfit podcast, it's on streaming platform of choice, iTunes, Spotify, whatever else. But yeah, check it out and check out the Patreon rewards, Discord channel, live chats, exclusive with phone calls, and a book club over Zoom. Check it all out. So stoked, I'm stoked to see you guys there. It's gonna be fun. So you misfits in the next one. Love and appreciate you guys. Peace out.